Hello everyone and welcome to the Hisui podcast. I'm Wolf Taiko and I'm here with Cadeorade5, Nurse Ethi, and Tomix 9 Tomix.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
It,
Hello.
it feels so good to say that normally again.
The
Yeah?
whole group.
You
Is it
missed
like-
me.
Has it lost?
Ethi.
Have your muscle memory lost it?
No, in fact it feels more right now than it has in a while. It's always felt awkward, and now it's like, this feels right. But like,
Yeah.
Ethi, you haven't been here in a month.
No, life has just like to say life has kicked me in the ass is an understatement.
Also,
life
I
is hard.
completely feel you. I mean, these last 2 weeks have just been, I feel like a tornado.
That's about right.
But like, yeah, next episode, I just now realized that is going to be our 30th episode.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's good.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, and we still have not broken a streak yet.
Thanks to Ethy's solo round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Hey,
most of us.
I'm ready. I told y'all I'm ready. If I have to go again, I'll go again.
Yeah, I've only missed like 1 and 2. I've missed 2.
I've missed a handful.
Yeah, I missed a few, I think.
I think I've been here the most then.
Yeah.
Though I will tell you, I have not like recorded an episode of this in so long. I feel like because the Atomic Reactor
Oh,
episode
yeah.
that I was in, we actually recorded before the Halloween episode. So I wasn't in the Halloween episode, and I wasn't in the Slowpoke Shack episode. So
Yeah,
it feels like it's been a while for me as well.
Mhm.
that's true.
And I mean, just in general, it's been a while since all 4 of us have been in an episode. The last time was it Samsara and Five Nights with Eevees?
I think so.
Yeah,
guess
that
so,
Who
was.
was
wow,
not? Who
that's
wasn't here
insane.
for the Terra Leak episode?
I wasn't here for Terra.
Tom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then the Terra Leak
Jeez.
episode began my accidental hiatus, which was more of just y'all recording those 2 episodes when I couldn't be
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, just
That-
weird days and times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was also the only way to make it work, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The joys of having 3 night shifts in a row and sometimes a 4th shift on a different day and oh god, this week. Pray for me. By the time this episode comes out, I will probably be going to my 4th shift of the week.
Oh.
This week's gonna suck. Like, I just
So-
realized
Yeah.
how bad my work schedule's gonna be because
Yeah,
Yeah,
when this
I've-
episode comes out, I'm gonna be currently starting my, like, stupid, crazy work schedule. Like, Friday, I have 5 to 10 p.m. I have the weekend off, thank God, so I can work on college applications. Monday, it's 12 to 5. Nothing Tuesday. But then we have Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's 5 to 11 p.m. Thursday's 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Do you not have
Ooh.
school next week at all?
Nope.
I'm so jealous. I'm very jealous. For reasons
No,
that I will
instead,
not get into. but-
Instead, I am going to be working and doing college applications.
Working on Thanksgiving too has to be absolutely foul. I would
Well,
think.
no, I think I've already talked about this. I do not feel anything for Thanksgiving. I don't dislike it, I don't like it. It's literally just a normal day for me.
Wow.
You should move overseas because that's how the rest of the world does Thanksgiving.
So
Because
Thanksgiving's
the
a
thing is,
massive deal to me. So
well, no,
normally, at
because
least.
I've already talked about like my eating problems. Like I don't eat anything different on Thanksgiving. I don't. Like we've never had like people come over for Thanksgiving, so it's literally just always been a normal day for me.
How about Christmas? Do you like Christmas?
I like Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm normally
Christmas
a fan
time.
of holidays. It's just Thanksgiving is all about the food, and I am
Yeah. Not much
That's
for
true,
feasting,
yeah.
I'd say.
yeah. Um, I
I
mean,
just
other than
You
posted
that,
guys-
my work schedule,
That looks
so y'all can see how bad
horrendous.
this
Ugh.
Actually horrendous.
Yeah. The blue are
Oh.
days that I'm like officially working.
so that's like
And then
12 hours, 3 days a
Mhm.
week. So that's like 36
Mhm.
hours a week.
Because it's
Mhm.
4 days, you said next week, right?
This and next week.
It's like
Mhm.
actually crazy to me because I work like 5/8s, like I work like a classic 9 to 5. I feel like I can barely make it through 8 hours normally. So hearing
Yeah.
like people say they work 10s or 12s is just like that's wild.
It is
Yeah,
wild.
I'm same as Kate. I'm just like 5/9s, so it's what it is.
Have I worked 12 hours? I don't think I've worked 12 hours before. But speaking on work, one of the big things I've done this week is gone and seen movies. I got to see 2 movies, both of them for free. Basically, something our movie theater is doing now. We didn't know it was gonna be a consistent thing, but like, so our theater chain like sent out a bunch of mystery movies. Nobody knew what the movies were. Not management, not no one. It was just called like mystery movie. It was 2.5 hours rated R. That's all we knew about it.
Oh,
And tickets were only $5.
Not bad.
Yeah, especially because tickets are normally 12, so that's like less than half price.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So, I was like, you know what? If it, like, it's probably gonna be something interesting, or like, I hoped it would be something interesting. I was like, I was very intrigued, just the experience of watching something and not knowing what I was gonna get into.
can we guess what it's gonna be? Can we all take a guess and see if any of us get it
I
right?
feel like I know what it was.
I think I told Kay
I
and Ethi.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Oh.
already saw the post on
Oh, no, you don't know
this-
Ethi.
Oh, I don't?
No.
Andy
That
put it
was-
in my
I
chat
also
last
saw
night. So.
another movie this week, and that's what I talked about.
Actually, didn't
Okay,
you
then I
just
don't
start
know.
talking
that.
about it like before we started recording? Tom, I feel like you should have heard this.
Oh no, then I do know. I didn't realize that was it. Okay, I do know what it is.
Well,
Sorry.
You
Sorry for bringing
do?
this up.
That would like
If it's what you said.
It's
think
not on
it's-
Blue Sky.
Okay, well I'm just gonna guess Blue Velvet for long R-rated movie.
Okay,
That's
does
my
anyone else
guess.
have a guess?
I mean, I
Well-
saw where you talked about seeing Wicked.
yeah, that's
Just
what
me
I
really
Wicked's not R,
excited.
is it?
is
No, it's not Wicked. Wicked A is not rated R.
Oh.
Wait, so then is it the other one you saw? I have to see. Is this a rated R? Oh yeah, yeah, that's rated R. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Gladiator 2 then.
Yep, it is Gladiator 2.
Okay.
And
Ooh,
when
how's
I-
that?
well, okay.
How was it?
So it was such an interesting experience being in the theater, though, as like, because like, it added like a layer of like when the studio logos were showing up. It's like, oh, okay, so this movie is made by this studio. What movie could it be then? And then like, there's this like animated, almost sequence involving a coliseum, and then I went, oh, Gladiator 2, and I was a little disappointed at first because I didn't want it to be like a mainstream movie, if that makes sense. I thought it'd be more
Mhm.
interesting especially as a marketing tactic to get a bunch of people like, ooh, watch this random movie, and then it's like something more unknown but like surprisingly good. And so when I saw it was just Gladiator 2, I was like, oh. But yeah, we saw that Monday. The movie doesn't come out until Friday, so we got to see it early.
Yeah, I'm surprised it was a new movie. I thought it'd be like just showing a mystery old movie or something.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. But yeah, no, it's one that was going to come out. And so yeah, we saw Gladiator 2. You guys know me. I think you can imagine Gladiator 2 is not my kind of movie.
Really?
No.
It's not exactly up my alley. It's definitely not one that I would like pick up in my free time to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch Gladiator 2. and that's why I also kind of rolled my eyes when I figured out when it was, and I was like, okay, how long am I gonna last in this movie until I ask my mom to like bring me home? Just because I was like, this ticket was free for me, so I didn't want to waste my time in something that I just wouldn't enjoy. And it was pretty slow at the beginning and kind of boring in my opinion, but I feel it picked up for me like near the halfway point, where it had some like interesting stuff that it did with characters, suspense, and like that kind of stuff, and it just became a lot more interesting, and I enjoyed it actually a lot more than I thought I would. Where I'm like, no, that was not a waste of time. I enjoyed my time with it. Is it my cup of tea? Absolutely not, but I enjoyed my time with it.
I think a mystery movie is a good excuse to see a movie that you wouldn't normally watch. It's
Yeah.
kind of sick that you actually enjoyed it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I talked with some other employees who also went to see it, and we all kind of felt that same way. There was another dude who was like, oh, it's Gladiator 2, okay. But I mean, we all enjoyed it. I heard from other people, it's basically a kind of copy of the story structure of Gladiator 1. I have not seen Gladiator 1, and I also didn't know that I needed to, because I did not know I was gonna see Gladiator 2.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, I was able to figure out basically. I mean, Gladiator isn't like a really complex story to try and figure out what it is.
No,
Yeah,
I guess
I
that's
mean-
one of the beauties of it being most of what it's about is probably right there in the name, if I had to guess.
Yeah. But yeah, Gladiator 2, I enjoyed it, but not nearly as much as the other movie I saw, which Ethi has already talked about, which was Wicked Part 1. Which I need to preface, because I keep up with like movie news and like movies that are in development and are coming out. So I knew about this movie at least a year ago, maybe more. I think it was only a year ago though. And I remember like I was ripping this movie apart off of like some of their ideas. I mean, obviously the first one that you can like make fun of is like, oh, they're making like a musical that is like 2 hours 45 minutes into 2 movies.
Yeah, that's the
And
main
you
comment I've
long
heard from a lot of
movies.
like my coworkers and like friends who are like movie people. They're like, yeah, how are you gonna make 5 hours of content out of a musical that's like roughly 2.5 hours?
Well, but also Wicked was originally a book, which was longer.
Yeah.
So there is that to it. But I mean, I was and then like I saw casting decisions, and I was like, oh, Ariana Grande is Glinda, Jeff Goldblum is the Wizard, the girl from Everything Everywhere All at Once is like a teacher, and I was like, it kind of just seemed like they were just casting people for their names more so than for the parts, and I just went, okay, this doesn't look good, but we'll see.
I'll defend Ariana Grande. She,
And I'll defend
as
Jeff Goldblum.
as an actress, Ariana Grande has had some interesting roles in the past.
Yeah.
But she
Well,
also
That was also
She
my
also
initial
does-
reaction.
mhm.
But I mean, other than that, what else? But like I saw the director attached, and that was like the only hope for me in regards to the whole movie. The director, I think his name is John M. Chu. I definitely did not say that right. But he directed another musical movie adaptation that not many people know about because it came out like during pandemic times. It was In the Heights.
Oh, In the Heights. That's what's his face?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he did a really good job with In the Heights. So I was like, now, but I also wasn't gonna be like, oh, it's good because of that, because he could have just done, like, gotten Wicked to do, like, for a paycheck. So it still wasn't like a, oh, it means it's gonna be good now because it's like a director that did well in the past. It's like, no, that could have been a passion project. This could be for the paycheck. That doesn't say anything. But
sure.
I mean, also on this dude's movie list of movies that he's directed is also Crazy Rich Asians, which I mean, I guess I don't really know a ton about, but I feel like it wasn't super well received. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Oh really?
wasn't?
I don't like
I
I
feel like
don't
a lot
well,
of
I
my
don't know.
friends love
I've never seen the movie, so I
I've
don't
heard of
know.
it.
I've heard of the movie, but like I haven't seen it. But from like from what I remember about the movie, because there were like advertising and stuff, it was trying to lean into like the very like stereotypical type thing, which is like, I don't know, does not really give me good vibes. But I don't know, I digress.
But yeah, other than that, what the hell?
Have you
Oh
not
no, I
been
just
listening?
found a new Google Easter egg.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where it just plays Defying Gravity. And then all the stuff in the search results just like start flying up. I don't know. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Okay. So that was my idea, like my thoughts when I just saw the names attached. And I was like, we'll see how it goes. I'll keep an open mind, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, this looks good. That was not my initial reaction. Then the trailers came out, and I was like, okay, the music looks good. You're even winning me over on Ariana Grande as Glinda. It works. But the one thing that stood out to me as just looking horrid was the dialogue. The dialogue seemed so atrocious in the trailers, I can't describe it. And that's what I was really worried about, because it was also revealed through like the song list, and he didn't add any songs from the musical, thank God. They didn't add any music to the musical, not from the musical. There's lots of music from the musical. There's not any new ones.
I was gonna say.
That took me a moment to understand, but yeah.
So there's no new music, which means if they've doubled the length, that means there's more dialogue and more story. And you know what looks the worst in the trailers? The dialogue.
Ooh.
And so that's why I was like, oh no. But I mean, visually, it looked stunning. The casting won me over. The music seemed fine. I mean, there maybe was a bit too many riffs for some of Alphaba's songs, but I mean, overall, everything else seemed good enough. But again, I kept an open mind. My mom is a big, like, musical theater geek. Loves Wicked. And so I went to go and take her because I can get a free ticket, and I was able to give her a child ticket because the manager was like, it's $3 cheaper, give your mom a child ticket.
Nice.
Nice.
Plus I got concessions half off, so I was like, Mom, I'll take you.
You get the concessions at a reasonable, affordable human price.
That's
I
crazy.
know. I know, it is crazy. But yeah, we were, so then we went to see the movie, and I was like, alright, when am I gonna think of it? Because it was either gonna be one of the most insufferable 2 hours and 40 minutes of my life, or I was gonna have fun. Those were like the two reactions I was thinking I was gonna have. And if you didn't see what I said on Blue Sky, I loved it. Now,
I'm so happy to hear that.
the crappy dialogue, it's still there, but it is not the majority. It's like 3 lines that they just put in the trailer, and it's like only those 3 lines. And I have no idea why. Like, they make the dialogue seem worse than it is. And like... But like, I was telling this on K-Stream, and it's like the story almost felt like a story that like I would write, if that makes sense. To some degree. I mean, obviously it wasn't written by me, so it's not literally, but just in that kind of vibe of like, not being like wholly one tone or the other, like, still being a somewhat fun time while having some like deeper messaging to it.
Right.
which in general I don't like with Western culture. With like people do not believe in like switching between tones. You can only be one thing or another.
Mm.
And that's partially why I was thinking they split up Wicked. Is like the first half is a lot more jovial and fun than the second half, and so they probably split it in 2 acts to make it easier for the Western audience, like general Western audience, who don't like switching tones.
Or probably also to make money. A whole 2
I
acts.
would assume that money is the main
Well,
motivation.
actually, after watching it, the pacing is better in my opinion in the movie than the musical.
I mean, that's
which-
not like too shocking to me. I like maybe this is just my like smooth brain take. But I've always found like for at least the musicals that I've seen, like I feel like pacing's just very much more of a difficult thing to do in
They are
like a
very
musical
fast.
or just like in a like play sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
harder to do.
Yeah.
You're a lot more constrained in what you can physically pull off in a
Yeah.
reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like I was saying this to my mom and she agreed, and we were both like, can't believe we're saying this, but it definitely needed to be in 2 parts. And I mean, other than that, I mean, for me, the big standout, because it's what I care about, was the story of the movie, the dialogue. But I mean, even outside of that, it was funny, it was enjoyable. The music sequences were like really creative and well directed.
Nice.
And like with this, on top of In the Heights, I'm like, this is just the only guy that can direct musical movie adaptations.
And he has a new fave.
What?
Can't believe it.
A new fave. A new favorite. It sounds like this guy's earned your respect.
Oh, he
Yeah.
definitely has. So yeah, that was my experience with Wicked. It's coming out today, guys. So if you want to go see it, I definitely give it a recommend. So yeah, that's been
Hell yeah.
me. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about now that I've gone on for 20 minutes? Goddamn.
A wicked episode.
Yeah.
So wicked.
Let's
Ethi, what's
see.
going on with your life? It's been the longest since we've
Yeah,
heard from
since
you.
it's been like a month for
Mm.
you.
Yeah, since it's been like a month. So by the time this episode goes live, I will have spent an amount of money to finish paying for the art for my debut coming up in May.
Ah.
Oh.
Just the art. That's just the art.
Oh.
That's not making
Never mind then.
that's not making me move around and look all pretty and stuff and having my hair do the swishy and the mouth and no, that is going to just be the art.
My God.
But hey, debut coming in May. Still actually looking better than it was when I was supposed to be debuting last May. 6 months
Hey.
ago. Actually,
So-
speaking of 6 months ago, I realized that that the 20th, this Wednesday, was my 6-month anniversary of working at hospital.
Ah.
And I wanted to cry.
Oh.
I genuinely wanted to cry. Like I miss the clinic so much, but I'm also so much happier at hospital than I was when I was at the clinic. And I hate that.
That's
I
really good.
genuinely like it
Oh.
it hurts my heart to say that, but also like I mean the truth is the truth at the end of the day.
You're not feeling burnt out or anything?
Thankfully no, like you
That's
would
good.
think that the change of going from 8 to like 8 to 5, 8 to sometimes 6 o'clock most days, going from that to 312s would have been a rough transition. No, that was such an easy transition for me. And I I miss the people. But to an extent, I also don't miss the stress because oh my god, it was like, it was it was a daily absolute nightmare at the clinic, but also a nightmare that I was kind of okay with most of the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes enough sense. Yeah. I think I mean,
That was
congrats
pretty
on 6
good.
months. That's like, it's crazy how fast time flies.
Yeah, it also means certain benefits that that my employer offers will, like, they have benefits that they offer at the very beginning of you starting to work, like your medical, your dental, your life insurance, accidental whatever, Aflac if you're an Aflac person. But then there are other benefits that, like, once you've been here 6 months, we've got some other things that you can start doing that I can't talk about too much because I don't want to, like, put that kind of stuff out there.
Yeah.
For like
Like a beer pong
safety.
table?
Oh, I wish. Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Probably not suitable at a hospital.
That would be cool though.
That would be so funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
But yeah, congrats on the 6 months.
Yeah, and I just put it in the
Yeah, that's dope.
in
What?
text so y'all
That's
can
so
see
dope.
what the big, like, the big one is.
Yeah, that's big.
That's nice.
So hopefully that means things in the future. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, how many fan games have you completed last month? Because I know there was Slowpoke Shack. That we
I
also
think I've
definitely need to
only
talk
finished the Slowpoke Shack. Hold
Big
on.
fan
Oh
game
no,
player.
I played I just tried to search YouTube on YouTube instead of looking
It
at
really
my
be like that
own-
sometimes.
Let's see. Oh, I did play Red 2 by L.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I played Red 2. I remember thinking it was cute. Definitely needed a little bit of extra polish. But thankfully only a couple of Pokemon that kind of fit into that. This is a regional variant, but all you did was make it blue.
The Blue Lulu.
Right,
Yeah,
I forgot your...
we had a couple of, like, you could argue this is Blulu. But we still had some good laughs. There was a part where I don't want to spoil it. I'm just going to say, if you play it for yourself, make sure to go back into your house and check out your bedroom. That's all I can say.
What kind of
That's
joke is it?
it's a silly interaction between you and a Pokemon.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil what it is, but you have a Pokemon upstairs, one of your mom's Pokemon's upstairs, and you have a silly interaction with it, and it just I'll laugh at stuff in fan games all the time, but not like a hearty, like, belly, my entire soul is laughing. No, I had a full belly, entire soul is laughing with this interaction. It was so freaking good.
Okay, I was worried when you brought up the bedroom.
Yeah, me too. I think I just expect the worst.
You
But I
guys,
thought it was
you
gonna
guys
be
need to get your
better.
minds out the gutter.
Look,
Dude, I have to spend like half of my life in high school every day. What do you expect from me?
Okay, but What I will say is you'd be surprised at the wild ass jokes my friends make, but still, I like that's not what that's not like did not even think about that.
Yeah, no, thankfully it's wholesome, and we ended up having that turn into kind of a running joke as the game progressed, because there were a couple of little glitches, because it's a PSDK and a PSDK game, so there's a little
Yep.
bit of like, oh, I didn't think about this, or I didn't realize that this kind of interaction would happen. So Elle just kind of played it off as, oh, well, you know, gotta keep an eye out, gotta watch out for that Pokemon in case they do something.
Yeah,
So we just turned
Pokemon
it
has
into
so
a
many
joke.
different moves. It's hard to account for every single thing when you're making an engine.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But Kate, or Kate, anything? Is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we transition to
I want to
The
ask
chat.
Ethi a question.
Okay.
Mm.
Why does it say you're playing Power Wash Simulator on Discord?
Because I did launch Power Wash Simulator. The night that we're recording this, I'll be streaming Power Wash Simulator. And
I
I
thought
thought,
you were
okay,
just
I'm
watching in the background.
While we were talking, yeah. I thought that too.
that'd be so funny.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I was just like, oh, is he seriously just?
I was like, is he
It's not
just
even-
staying his
It
hose?
also does
Us.
not show for me on Discord, but maybe it's like a stream.
It's
thing.
not here anymore,
Oh, okay.
but it was. Oh.
But yeah,
forgot
I
to
was-
make this.
I was looking up like, okay, what am I like? What am I going to be power washing tonight? Because on one hand I could go back to Shrek. On the other hand, I could do something like
What?
Santa's Workshop or just regular, whatever. Maybe some Final Fantasy VII or Alice in Wonderland, something. They have a lot of things that you can power wash in that game.
Interesting.
What do you mean Power Wash Shrek? Did you say Shrek?
Yeah, like the one time that I did that I've streamed it so far, we were in the Shrek universe, and we were cleaning up Lord Farquaad's castle.
Right,
Interesting.
I see.
I see.
I thought you meant like Shrek's body, like you're just power washing. this
Okay, Andy.
Oh no! Thank God, no.
Hey, you just said Shrek.
That
Shrek is
yeah,
love.
yeah.
No,
I didn't say that.
damn it.
No,
Shrek
Tom,
is love.
Tom, we don't need to talk about that.
I'm surprised you even get that reference.
I'm surprised Andy knows that actually.
Dude, I've heard of it since freshman year in high school.
Okay.
You think people in high school aren't gonna talk about that?
I
well,
just didn't realize it still had
it was a
longevity.
big thing when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
it's old.
pretty old.
Shrek came out when I was in elementary school.
Not Shrek.
No, I know that
Easy.
Shrek is old.
But the
Shrek
the
is
meme.
love. Shrek is life.
yeah.
Slides into your
Oh.
bedroom.
That.
When
Yeah.
did that?
Anyways,
Oh my god.
Was
we
that
are.
when it came out? I don't remember.
So,
Second
Cade, what have you
school,
been up to?
Moving on.
Are we done with Ethi?
Always.
Huh? Okay.
What?
Huh?
We're always done with Ethi.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
done with Ethi, and I have to be him 24/7.
Okay.
I've missed this.
Yeah, just the absolute chaotic. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I've been very busy. I guess the reason I wasn't in last episode was because I hadn't finished Slowpoke Shack. And then they invited me back after I'd already made plans. Because I wasn't going to be in the episode. So, got to see a Minnesota Wild win in person. That was cool. Other than that, I've literally just been working. I'm trying to think what else. I went to Topgolf for the first time on Tuesday.
Nice.
I had never golfed before other than mini golfing, and I may be the world's worst golfer ever. I'm so bad.
No.
So bad. But that was fun. Topgolf is a good time. Highly recommend if you just want to like hang out with your friends and have money to spend because it's fucking expensive.
Wow.
And then yeah, I've been working today at work. We had like a department outing, so we went to literally the middle of nowhere to find a movie theater. Like I'm telling you, this like literally was not. It was so far away, but we went to a movie theater, and our entire department just rented out like a theater, and we watched Red 1, the movie, which is probably completing the trifecta of movies that have come up that are coming out this week and last week.
It
And
come out earlier than last week.
I thought it was last week.
Let me look it up.
I mean, okay, so like what doesn't make sense to me is number one, it's a Christmas movie and we were watching it
November
before
15th, you're right.
Thanksgiving. So that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But
I mean, a lot of
It
Christmas
was-
movies come out in November.
yeah, I mean, it was better than it had any right to be, I would say. I mean,
But
like
still not
like
good.
look, the movie's not that good. It like objectively, like Andy would rip it to shreds. Every moviegoer I know would rip
Ooh,
it to
fun.
shreds.
Damn.
Because
Now I
the
wanna
plot
see
doesn't
it.
really make sense. The Rock is still horrible at acting.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah. But it's a fun little like silly movie about like here's another thing that I would say.
Fun
My
to be
like
had here.
my idea of like Santa as a kid is very much not like the Santa that's portrayed in this movie. Like for example, there's literally a scene where Santa's like literally like doing a bench press and I'm like, Santa doesn't bench press. He fucking waddles around, gets on a sleigh and goes. So like it's kind of weird because you have like J.K. Simmons plays Santa, which is like interesting. But what I will say, what saved the movie for me is Chris Evans. Chris Evans is really good at playing like, I don't know, like the Chris Evans character, you know? He's like kind of similar in like an Inside Out. Wait, Inside Out?
What? Knives.
Knives Out, not Inside Out. I know movies.
Sure.
He's good at playing like the like ignorant / apathetic, like don't give a fuck guy. In this movie he turns into being like a good guy, but you can also go the other way, like it happens in Knives Out. So it's like it's cool. I really liked this character. He was like pretty funny in it because what I don't understand is like The Rock seems like he should be like a funny character, but he's so serious. Like it drives me crazy. I was like, would it like kill you to like smile once? Like or something like that. And there's one other scene that like saved the movie in my opinion. But that kind of contains spoilers. But yeah, overall, like objectively it's not a good movie, but I don't have high standards for movies. And I thought it was like
Awesome.
a little silly and like the humor was bad, but you like still laughed at it type thing. But it was also like it has a horrible fucking premise too. Like Santa gets kidnapped. Like the fuck? What? Maybe I
Gotta
just
save
don't watch.
Christmas.
But yeah, exactly. Like maybe I just don't watch enough Christmas movies. Like I watch all of, like the like A Christmas Story, or like Elf, or like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Those are or Frosty the Snowman. Those are my ideas of Christmas movies. This is like
An
an
action movie.
action movie. Oh my god, what the fuck happened to my mic? It just like peaked really bad for no reason. I'm so sorry. What the
Fun.
That was weird. Anyways, yeah, not solid movie, bad movie, but fun to watch. Also fun to only work half a day.
Hell yeah.
That was
Yeah.
more what I was caring about. And now I have to go to work tomorrow, and I really don't want to. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for me. I have a lot of other like more personal stuff going on that I like won't really get into, and that's like a lot of the stuff that that's a lot of the reason why I haven't been in a ton of episodes recently, I feel like. But nothing like nothing bad really. Oh, I went to the doctor yesterday. I could rant at that. You want me to?
Was everything okay? Nothing.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just fine.
Okay.
That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm worried about, are you okay? And did the staff treat you right? If not, I would like their exact coordinates and just a word, just a moment and a word.
No, like no,
I don't know,
everything
I
was good. I saw like so I went in for like, for those that don't know, I have type 1 diabetes. I feel like I talk about that a lot, but I do. So I went to the doctor for that because you go in like twice a year for that. And I was seeing a new doctor, and like she was super nice. And then we get to like rescheduling the appointments, and I'm like, okay, look, my A1C, which for those of you who don't know is like basically like the measure of like how well you're managing your diabetes. I have the A1C of someone who doesn't even have diabetes. So like, safe to say, like, I know how to manage. Like, I've had this shit for over half of my life, so I know what to do. And normally I only have to go in twice a year. But because it's a new doctor and she doesn't really know me too well, the nurse comes in to reschedule me, and she's like, yeah, the doctor wants to see you like every 3 to 4 months. And I'm like, excuse me, what? And then they're also like, yeah, we want you to get labs every time you come in. I'm like, what?
Wait, they weren't already doing that?
No, once a year.
That's something that you should still be checking, like, on that same schedule that the doctor is asking for every like 3 to 4 months. You need to be getting.
Well, like
that
they take
checked
my
just to,
A1C, they take my A1C every time, but like I don't know. This is where like Ethi and I will differ, because like I don't think, like, if I am feeling something wrong, then I'll like go like I can tell if something's wrong with me normally, I feel like. So I'll like go check it out. Another thing that the doctor said that didn't make a ton of sense to me is like, yeah, we like to check diabetics for like celiacs. And I'm like, okay, like sure, whatever, like from like a scientific or medical perspective, I'm sure that all makes sense. But I like, if I can't eat gluten anymore, I'll let you know. like then I'll be worried, but I don't think, like, I'm just fine right now. Like there's no, I don't know. It just felt like you're blowing literally like perfect results, like a 5.7 A1C, to like, you're blowing it out of proportion. Like I know how to manage my diabetes. Don't try and like get in my way, basically.
Yeah, that seems just a little overboard.
Yeah.
But
like, as long as your A1C is still doing good and you're not having any kind of like, you're not having any other kind of signs and symptoms. I mean, I guess some like every year doing the like the checkup labs. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But how? I guess I should ask how they're doing your A1C. Are they just doing like the finger stick, or are they doing?
Okay, so
the
here's
full
another
blood
thing.
draw
They
for the
like
A1C?
like in the previous, because I like switched clinics too, just because I was still going to the clinic. Like when I went to college, I lived somewhere else, so I went to a different clinic. I kept going to that clinic until this appointment. So previously they just did a finger stick, and I'm like, I thought every place did a finger stick, but this place had to do labs for A1C, and that, like, I assume that's probably why they want me to do labs every time, but I don't, like, I famously have, like, literally they were doing the lab, they were like trying to find a vein, and this lady was like, yeah, you have super wiry veins. I'm like, yeah, I know. The one time I went to the hospital for DKA, they had to try 7 times to get an IV in. Like on the set, like, and it's like it fucking pissed me off so much. And so I'm super happy that the girl this time did it on the first try, because, and it was like in the in like the normal spot where they do it, because normally they have to do it in my like wrist or my hand.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now you can
Fire.
understand why I don't want to get labs every time I go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, that's fair. That's
Sorry to bring up
completely
a bunch of like gruesome random stuff.
All right.
It's hardly gruesome. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I also finished
Yeah.
Kanan the Bridge of Spirits. I don't even know if I talked about even playing that game.
I don't know.
I can talk more about it if y'all want, but I feel like I've been taking up a lot of oxygen here, so.
I guess, what's like a small summary of your feelings about it? Because I've seen that game and it does look interesting.
Yeah, so I was talking about this in the stream yesterday. I like wrote a review because I use like a website called backlogs.com to like basically like track all of the games that I play. But basically, I said basically like the game's very solid, but you kind of know what you're getting. Like this game is gorgeous. It like has graphics that I think rival Pixar movies in terms of that kind of style. And the gameplay is actually pretty like deep, surprisingly, for like a game that, you know, looks like a Pixar movie. But unfortunately there's like zero story. The story is so bad. None of the characters develop. You just kind of get flashbacks that show how the characters developed. And now they're like, they stay the same. And then like, this game like tries to prioritize exploration, but like literally every single thing that you can get is cosmetic. Like the two main currencies, one is for like, you know, unlocking new abilities, but those are like really few and far between. And then like the other currency, the only thing you can get is cosmetics. And that kind of pissed me off, just because like I am a story guy. I think you guys probably know that. And then I also like want to immerse myself in the atmosphere of a game. Like those are my big things about games normally. And this game didn't really have those two. It was beautiful and it was a fun play, but I don't know.
I get you.
It does look like a very beautiful game.
It is so beautiful.
Actually, last thing before we go into a main topic, even though we're, you know, almost 50 minutes in.
Hey, I mean, it's like we're all...
Yeah.
Me
all
and
have
Ethi
some
haven't been
content,
here in for fucking ever.
We're getting the band back together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can call this episode that, though, because I already did that. No, I said the
Yeah.
games back together. I can do the band this time. Damn, am I already running out of creativity, only 29 episodes in? This is not a good sign. But, so, what I was gonna say, DDPC, you know, the game I'm trying to make in the middle of craziness of my life. The main thing that's been going on is, like, I've been really trying to, like, improve in outdoor mapping. And, like, I was showing Nant, like, the progress I've gotten with outdoor mapping, and let me pull up the exact quote from him. Yeah, you definitely have. Jesus Christ, the improvement is crazy.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you guys have played my games. Overworld, outdoor maps have always been my weakest point. They've gotten to somewhat a passable degree in recent games, but also I didn't make them most of the time in recent games.
Oh yeah, that's because in recent games you had a whole team, right?
I think in Berserk I made the city maps and no one complained about those. But they also weren't good either, they were just fine. And also cities are easier to make than routes. In my opinion.
That's
Oh,
true.
1 billion%.
But like indoor maps I've always been better at. I've always been like, even when I first started making fan games, I mean I was bad in every aspect. Kate can attest to that. Kenny can also attest to it apparently.
That is so funny.
Oh no.
Oh, Ethi, did I not tell you?
Mm-mm.
So, okay, so we're gonna go into Slowpoke Shack for a second. You know, my like the Schoolboy Andy character, right, in Slowpoke Shack?
Mm-hmm.
So he has an Oshawa on his team. That Oshawa is a reference to my first fan game, Pokemon Trapped.
Nice.
Not nice. I don't want to remember it. But no, so like anyways, really off topic. But that was a tangent. Back to what I was saying, like at the beginning, I was not good in any aspect. But there were aspects that I was somewhat competent. Wait, no, I wasn't. Trapped wasn't a good indicator. Everything was bad in Trapped. But like in Ends and like Ends 2, indoor mapping started becoming a bit more competent. Writing became a bit more competent. Outdoor mapping, I think, got worse in those games. And like even after that fact, like everything else got like good, especially indoor mapping got really good. Outdoor mapping has always been like close to bottom of the barrel or just been like, it's fine. And so the fact that I can now make outdoor maps, it's very good for me. And it's like, even though when people play it, they'll be like, I mean, these are fine outdoor maps, like, it's not really crazy for them, because it's like, you know, it's kind of like normal for them. It's like, yeah, these are good outdoor maps. But dude, I've been working for 7 years on this. It did not come overnight. But yeah, that's how things have been going in the fan game development scene. But I also kind of feel bad. It's like, I'm finally good at making them. And of course now I'm leaving.
I mean, what I will say about like outdoor maps is like there's two different like, I don't know, there's a lot of, I feel like, context and like other things that come into play with like outdoor mapping. Like, so for me, like there's like obviously like bad outdoor mapping, which is just, you know, bad mapping, like anyone can point that out. There's like technically good outdoor mapping where there's not like tile errors and anything like that. And then once you get to like that level, then it really starts to depend on like, okay, do I have like a good idea or like design that I'm going for in the route? And then also I would say that like graphics also play a big role in that. Like if you're working with like a default essentials tile set, there's only so many things that you can do, and because there have been so many games that use the default essentials tile sets, that idea that you have may have been already done before. If you have custom graphics for a game, you can do pretty much anything. So like I do think that plays a big role in it. And then also like design, like to like reference Berserk, for example, like what I really liked about the mapping there is that each map kind of has its own like little unique thing going on that I think like really helps personalize the map, if you will. And I think that's like probably what makes a technically good map like what separates a technically good map from like a great map. Because normally most people don't have access to a bunch of custom graphics, I would say.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, since we've kind of touched on Slowpoke Shack with the Kenny comment, we are now gonna fully transition to Slowpoke Shack, because Ethi and Kate have now finished it.
And I'm very excited to hear what they think.
I've been scared because I know what they think. I saw their thoughts, and now I am terrified for this discussion.
And it's not like we're gonna beat you up if we all have different opinions.
You liked the game though, what?
Alright, where's my baseball bat? I'm ready.
Okay, but Kane, in this day and age of the internet, if you do not have the exact same opinions as everyone else, that is not good enough.
Knife. I don't know where my baseball bat went.
That's actually so true, because people refuse to have nuance on the internet. So
I mean, there's a reason why I wrote abstract. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna call everybody who is in the last podcast out for, even Tom, why did you guys wait till like the last 3 minutes to bring up the music in this game? What the fuck?
I did, yeah.
The music in this game is excellent.
No, it is. I agree. But since Kenny was there, I felt like I needed to talk more about Kenny's contributions.
Well, like I know Endless
This
did
was
some
more of a-
custom themes, but didn't Kenny
Oh,
pick
well,
like a
yeah.
lot of the other music for the game?
Okay, yeah, but also music picking is not that time consuming and like that
I
big of
know.
a
I
process and
felt that
contribution.
I
Where
felt
like
that the
other aspects that he did were more like, I don't know, to me more of like a proof of like his work in the game. Like that wasn't as important out of his contributions.
I mean, yes, but I think
I
like
think
I
Kate
don't
just
know.
wants to talk about the music.
I do
Yeah.
I do kind of want to talk about the music. The music is great.
Yeah, that's
But I
fine.
think like one of the things that I think we like kind of we don't like directly label it, but we like kind of talk around it tangentially is like the atmosphere kinda and like just the world itself of this game. And I think like I think you guys like definitely talked about that a little bit. But I think like that was like really really good in this game, and I think the music plays a massive part in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I agree.
And Endless did kill it with the music. It was
Oh,
insane.
the credit
did.
song was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, no argument. But I mean,
Um,
I guess have both of you seen the podcast episode about Slowpoke Shack?
I have.
I did not.
Dang it. Okay, well, I think I've already told you my thoughts on the game, right, Ethi?
Yeah, you've already told me your thoughts.
Okay, I don't have
You've
to
explained
thank
that
God.
you have bad opinions. Um, you've told
See?
me.
See, this is why I was terrified.
It's okay.
I don't-
we'll
Hey,
put you
I'm
through
not
the
going to
trigger.
crucify you for your bad opinions. I'm just going to say I disagree with some of your opinions, and I
Weren't
think
you looking
they're
for
bad.
a baseball bat 2 seconds ago?
That's
I
not a
don't even
crucifixion.
I don't even own a baseball bat. I don't know what you're talking
I could go
about.
find one if I
I
needed
do
to.
have a wrench
If I
that
need to.
fits from my armpit to the middle of my hand. If I really needed a weapon, I could grab that.
Oh, I have
Who
a pretty
needs a wrench
rad-
that
I-
long? What?
No, I have a
My
pretty
dad used
rad
to work in
weapon I can get
construction,
one
and I
second.
still lit.
Only tool I have is an umbrella, so you guys are on your own for beating up Andy.
I think so. So what I'll say is I don't think a lot of.
For scale.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna send y'all a picture of it.
Okay.
Of your meter long wrench.
What I will say is that I don't think Andy's opinions were that wild on the game. I think Andy's had a
No,
lot,
Andy said he liked it. Yeah.
a lot crazier opinions in my like
Well,
about games
also,
to
if
me
you
at
guys do
least.
if you guys give me any crap, just let you know, you may
Oh.
There's no
May not
need
win
for
the
you to
game.
have that. There's no need for you to have that.
Anyways, I can't hear y'all because to do that joke, my headphones are now unplugged.
So, okay. Well, so the point I was going to make is I don't like out of all the games that I like that Andy has given opinions on, I feel like this is one of the games that I probably agree with him like the most, not the most, but like a lot on.
Mhm.
Like I feel like there's other games where like we've had some pretty like marked disagreements, but I think like overall like Andy liked this game, I liked this game. I think his like main critique was like on how time travel was shoehorned in, and although I do think that time travel was handled well in this game, it was kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, it kind of was, and I don't like. I don't blame Kenny for having kind of a weird, funky time trying to figure it out, but it was definitely it was a choice.
I mean,
Also,
he's-
that scythe joke, I've been trying to do that for the entire like length of the podcast.
Jeez.
Like it's just been in my closet. Just this entire time, I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna find like the right time. Like Tom's gonna piss me off enough one of these days that I'm gonna threaten to kill him with that scythe.
Nah,
What
just
is
have a
that for
giant
your
Oh,
wrench
Halloween
to fix problems.
episode?
Yeah,
I should have,
that's
but
actually
also, I was too tired to think
Yeah,
of
you
that.
did.
that's true.
Oh yeah, we can also talk about this now. I love the people thinking that like I actually didn't fall asleep in the like Halloween episode and that it was like all meant to be and it was like set up to make it feel like weird. No, I actually just fell asleep.
I honestly like the comment section of this podcast is sometimes just like absolutely insane. Like some of y'all are conspiracy theorists. Like I'm convinced.
Yeah, like literally, I was just sitting there and I was like, honestly, I can kind of see why because I literally joined in the call right when Tom
Right
is
as
like,
they're
well,
talking about you.
well,
Yeah.
since Andy's not here, we can talk about this.
I guess I have no way to confirm that it wasn't, or that it was a coincidence because I wasn't there. So
Yeah, I wasn't there either, so I don't know.
who knows?
That secret will sleep with me and Andy, and then
Yeah.
in the library of little Slowpoke Shack.
Yeah.
No, but I
Yeah.
loved seeing the first part of that episode about Tom just making fun of Nand for being a valedictorian.
I think that's so funny because he like I would not imagine N to be the valedictorian.
No,
He's
I
still
can
got,
see
like 2
it.
years
I-
to lose it.
I-
but-
I can see it. I can see it
Yeah, I can see it too.
because
Yeah. I don't
like, because there are some valedictorians that are like the most like quiet kid that like you've never met, and then there are some valedictorians that literally do everything. I'm pretty sure N is like the literally do
Yeah.
everything kind of valedictorian.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I hope that dude knows how to time manage once he gets into college and he has all this
Yeah.
extra
Oh
time.
gosh, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Now I'm curious, what kind of student do you guys think of me?
You talked about how
I
you're in
kinda-
AP classes, so I'd assume you're a pretty smart guy. You
Yeah.
also know how to evaluate works of media to a very deep level, so I would think you're a very good student personally.
Yeah.
And you said
Like,
that
I
you
wouldn't
don't
be
like.
surprised if you were in the top 20 of your grade.
And I remember you
No
talking
way.
about like trying to help people with their maths homework by getting frustrated because they're too dumb for you.
Oh yeah, that God, Algebra 2 is such a. I hated taking that class. No, literally, I wouldn't get done with my work. Half an hour left in class, so I just did 100 push-ups in the back of the classroom because I had
fuck?
nothing better to do.
Oh
I'm sorry,
my
but like if I was just a
God.
random dude in that class, I would be losing my mind. I'd be like, what
Right?
the fuck am I
Wait,
in?
you're choosing to like go and like
Go in the
nah,
back of a
that's-
class and
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
just did 100 push-ups. Well, no, because I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? I have like an hour left in class, and someone was like, do 100 push-ups in the back of the classroom. I was like, bet. And so I did it.
I don't think I could do 100 push-ups in a row.
And then college algebra, a college-level class. Oh god, that class was so easy. Literally, I would walk in, I already knew the material, so I just grabbed the homework, did it, and then I went home early.
Wait, was college level
Nice.
algebra like after you took algebra 2?
Yeah,
So that was basically like analysis then. I think.
yeah, I don't know. It was basically the same class as algebra 2, it felt like.
Yeah, because when I took analysis, it was basically like algebra 2 all over again.
It was just... It was so... I hated college algebra. I ended with 116 in the class.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember
Well,
you talking about this vaguely, yeah. But there we go. That's the kind of student Andy is.
my analysis was easy, but I don't think I don't think I got over 100% in the class.
What? That's totally normal, isn't it? And I mean, even in AP stats right now, I have like 96 in the class. And I was like talking to someone like in lunch. I'm like, I don't have that good of a grade in AP stats. Only like a 96.
Oh, you're that
I got
kind of
pissed at
student?
You're
You're
the
the
Oh
worst.
guy.
no.
I know
What?
that. You
What?
deserve everything horrible that happens in your life.
No, I
don't know,
I
I
wasn't gonna go that far, but
I feel like well, I'm just getting vibes of I really hope you're not like this, Andy. You're the type of guy to like go argue with a teacher about 1 point off on a math test.
Have I done that?
Because I've seen like when I was in middle and high school, I've seen people do that and I'm like, bro, it's 1 point. It is not worth it.
So if I ever argue about an assignment, it's never about the grade. It's like, depending on the feedback, because sometimes they'll go, yeah, that's fair, and then I'm like, that's the grade I get. But if I see like I put in a lot of effort on an assignment and like the grade is saying that I didn't put any effort in, then I will like debate about it based off of pride and not off of grades. And basically be like, no, I did do work. Here is like what I did, because specifically it was like this one assignment where it was like a re-edit of a trailer and he didn't even realize it was edited. And so I had to point out in the trailer, I was like, no, these are all the things that I did in the editing. I was like, oh, okay. So like that's the only times I debate about like grades. Is when it's more about like my pride as a person.
I would never
Right,
argue
right.
for
But
that.
still-
I do not give enough of a fuck ever to debate my grade.
I just think if you complain about a 96 in the cafeteria, your ass is getting beat.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I wasn't complaining. I'm just saying it's not that good because I can't. I
yeah,
am
your ass
never
is
gonna.
getting beat.
No, Tom, I am never gonna say I'm good at anything. I think we have learned that at this point.
You can say
Like-
that to yourself. You
Yeah,
can't say that
and
to
that-
other people.
Yeah, especially like on one hand, here's the thing, Andy, or at least we know that you are brilliant. So we
Same
know if you're
brilliant.
trying to we know that if you're trying to talk down on yourself, we'll gladly both hype you up and beat you down for trying to beat yourself down.
But also, if you say that to like someone who's got an 80 and they're like, "Oh yeah, I did well on this test. I finally got an 80," and you're like, "Oh, I got a 96. It's not that great." They're like, "Well, fuck. What am I supposed
Yeah.
to do, man?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was saying that to other people who were also smart. But they had like a 90. Like I told that someone had a 94 in the class, and they were getting mad about it. So they were also that kind of student.
Okay, so it's just a whole big circle of people I
It-
need to beat up. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your wrenches. Bring your
Bring your wrenches. It's
Bring
hunting
your
season.
baseball
Oh my
bats.
god, that is such a
It-
big wrench.
Yep, Yu-Gi-Oh card for scale.
That's actually
Oh
insane.
god.
Anyway, about Slowpoke Shack.
Yeah.
What was your general
So about
Yeah, we were
opinion?
talking
Shack.
about that.
Other than like, yeah, time travel was very shoehorned in, which I didn't mind necessarily, because time travel can definitely be a very good point, or like a very good way to teach someone a lesson of like the circumstances of one's actions can definitely have XYZ effect, and you would want to change it. I understand that, especially looking back at some of my days when I was in high school. But at the same time, like, it's the question of, would I take that back? What would that change, and how, like, would that be something that I'm willing to lose?
Yeah.
And especially we saw that with Archer, where, oh, I never had that moment with my dad. Growls is still Growls didn't get that evolution. Like the evolution of Growls was not just, oh yeah, by the way, hi, I'm your dad and here's a Firestone. No, that was symbolic of the evolution of Archer as well, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah,
that wasn't just
100%.
Growls evolving, it was Archer evolving as well. And I like when time travel can be used for a lesson, but definitely one of those, like, it was definitely very shoehorned in, but I can appreciate that it was still used for the lesson.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
for me, like one of the things that I love, and this is I really like this game, and I think mostly because it has like a lot of like the ECAT inspiration in this game is like so obvious to me. When we're talking about like family and like very like what I really like is like all these crazy like very like larger than life like fantasy concepts of like time travel, like automatic victory essentially, or free will, are very much boiled down to like very human experiences, and experiences that are super relatable. And there's just so many of those situations throughout the game, right? Like as Ethi was talking about, like time travel, like I think everybody has things that they would go back and say like, hey, like I would love to change this about my life. Like if I lived my life over again, here's what I would change. And then this game explores a little bit with time travel, the flip side of it. I'm not saying like there's obviously other ways to explore that, but like the time travel was the vehicle to explore like, hey, there's two sides to this coin, right? There's the like, yeah, I could theoretically be way better off, maybe if I had done these things differently, but there's also the, hey, let's like I like have probably like these mistakes that I didn't make in the past. I've grown from these mistakes, right? And I'm a much better person because of them. And just realizing that these are like two like things that you can't have at the same time. You can't learn from your mistakes and also make no mistakes. And there are just a lot of like really cool like situations that I think that, I don't know, I related to a lot throughout the entire game. I think also like the very much like ending part when you're like in the portal or whatever with Marcus and Victini. I think that's just like a very powerful point as well, just because I think it shows the fact that like Archer has grown from his experiences throughout this game and is like worthy of victory, right? And then Marcus like has very like, Marcus obviously like his Pokemon are fainted, but I think that's also like a, hey, like he has not like, he's at an all-time low and he has not like worked to like improve himself kind of type thing, and therefore he's not worthy. And then also just like the definition of victory, right? Like Archer's definition of victory is something that like you would never associate with winning ever, in my opinion at least. Like when you win, you are inherently like putting somebody else down. It's very much like a turning that kind of cliche, I guess, on its head. Like when I win, other people are winning because I feel good when other people are like doing well, I guess.
Guys,
So just like very, very like,
Oh,
those are the two things that I think like really are like the best examples, but I think there's a lot of different situations like that throughout the game.
did
we
you-
lost the sight to joke.
What?
My computer crashed.
No!
Well, onto Kate's audio we go.
Well,
Yep.
I can maybe repair my video, but it's gonna be not recording still.
don't pay money to repair your video.
No.
Or yeah.
No, I think because it was monthly, and I don't think it's been a month yet.
Oh, okay, then maybe.
So it would be for free. No, I'm not gonna pay for it again. God no. Just gonna be a
But
bit.
yeah.
Anyways, you guys can keep talking.
Yeah.
I think putting it that way, Kate has like very beautifully said. Two things you said, Vev, that I really liked was that one about like victory. Normally there has to be a loser, but I didn't really think about it. But in the end, the victory with Victini is a victory without a loser, which is kind of beautiful. And then also,
Yeah.
I think what you said about the time, you can't learn from mistakes if you don't make any mistakes, is essentially the whole arc with Mike completed. Like, put in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Although honestly, if it were me who wrote it, which is honestly it's a weird thing for people to do because I mean you weren't the one who wrote it, but so I'm gonna rephrase it because yeah I don't know why I said that like that because that's weird. How I would have changed the ending, I guess, personally, if I were to do a story like this with this message, is like had like what was it? Archer. Not like have his restaurant be successful at the end of it. And do you know why?
Interesting.
Well, because not everything has to end with rainbows and sunshine.
Not entirely.
At a deeper
Mainly-
level, at a
because that'd
deeper
be
level,
a
right?
personal preference. Yeah, on a deeper level, it has to do with like, because for me, with it ending happily, it almost undermines and makes it that what Mike did was the right thing to do because it ended up with the restaurant being successful. It didn't happen directly because of the slowpoke meat, but because he did that, that then made an archer that would, So by going into the past and trying to do it, he still did it, just not as quickly and the way that he wanted to. So it almost went against its own lesson, if that makes sense.
I do get that, and I get what you're saying. You're saying that because if he didn't go back in time, then his restaurant would have failed. But because he went back in time, eventually it worked. But I think it's also important to note that because of what Mike did, the restaurant did fail, and it only succeeded in again because Archer reconciled with his father, became a better person, and was strong enough to give it a second try. The restaurant didn't need going back in time, all it ever needed was a second attempt, and the first Archer didn't do that, but the second Archer did do that. That's my way of viewing it. But I do definitely get what you mean.
I think it also like I don't think the restaurant failing, like I feel like you'd have to change a few other things with the story had that been the case, because and I think it's an important part to like Marcus's character that like he literally like does not want to manage Kingler's Kitchen at all. But he has to because of the situation that he's currently in. So and like personally, I think from like I guess like a logical point of view, I would never like I don't think there's a world where Kingler's Kitchen doesn't exist and the Slowpoke Shack fails. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, no, what they could have done is like had Slowpoke Shack fail, and then Archer takes over Kingler's Kitchen for Marcus.
See, I'm not sure that would work either, just because I think like part of the thing that like a big part with Archer is that his restaurant is like his identity. Like you start with the Slowpoke Shack and then you go to Grills with Growls. Like both of those, like even the Pokemon like have to do with Archer. Like Slowpoke is Mia's Slowpoke, and then Growlithe is Archer's Growlithe. So I'm not I do think there is probably a story that works that tells all the same lessons with the Slowpoke Shack or Grills with Growls ultimately failing, but I don't know if that's the way that I would do it, at least.
I definitely think it's important for Archer's character to have his own like independent place at the end, because that's kind of what he lacked in the city.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just kind of throwing out ideas.
Something I have been kind of thinking about with the story, because obviously it seems like the most controversial part of the story seems to be the time travel. And personally, for me, that feels like it's because it's not like the main point of the story, it's a side plot. But it's a very big side plot to have time travel and changing realities. So I was wondering, maybe if you switch the order of Marcus and Mike, and have Mike be the final climax, and then have more of the game be about time travel, would it work? But then I think also Marcus is like
that
the
would
final
be changing like
arc
the
for someone
identity of
else.
the game, though. Because I mean, Kenny made this game originally just to like make a, if I understand correctly, like farming game focused more around the characters, less about these big spectacle concept ideas. So that would almost be going against the identity of the game if it was entirely about time travel.
Well, I don't mean like entirely, I just mean switching the main climax.
Order.
But yeah.
No. I still think it would go against the...
like I don't know, like
Mm.
so my thing with the whole time travel is like, yes, I think like generally it's like, yeah, it's like shoehorned in. Like I don't know if it fits with the story from like a very macro perspective, but from like a more micro perspective, I think it's like explored well. Like the whole thing with like the Butterfree effect like is a really good explanation for how time travel is going to work in this game. And I think it, like, as I said, it is like a massive vehicle to like for like character development and like the story unfolding. So I like literally could not see this game using time travel in a different way, just because of, I don't know, I guess how much I enjoy the game, and like how I don't know, just how crazy of an idea time travel is to have in a video game. There's like only
Yeah.
so many ways you can
Mhm.
go about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's making time travel better in this game, but I don't think that's a bad thing, even though like from a like a top-down perspective, I guess it's maybe not the best idea. I don't know.
That
mean,
is
I feel
true,
like
yeah. And I think
That's
what happened with
that's
time
kind of the
travel is really
paradoxical
necessary.
level of. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, I'll just be quick. I think what happened with time travel, like the story with Mike, the story of the time travel in the game, is 100% necessary for the story that happens with Marcus in the end,
Oh yeah,
for
Yes,
Archer to have that character growth. And I think that final part was extremely well done.
completely agree.
I mean, do you guys disagree with, like, because one thing that I had that Kenny kind of agreed with was, like, Archer learns the lesson with Mike, and then immediately forgets it so that we can do the Marcus finale and he can learn it again.
Are you talking about in terms of like not using the like powers of?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's like, I think that he does like, in terms of his lesson, I don't think his so yeah, he learns two lessons. One is don't mess with these crazy ass powers, and the second is like, I like, I don't know, like I want to help other people type thing.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah,
So,
blah, blah.
well, I wouldn't even say that, but like basically, I guess the thing in his mind is, the thing that's stronger is him wanting to help Marcus is stronger than his lesson of don't mess with these powers anymore. Because honestly, like I probably would have done the same thing. Like
Mm.
I felt really bad for Marcus. That is a horrible, just horrendous situation to be in. And I would have been like, hey, like, yeah, maybe there's a chance that this doesn't go well, but like we've literally like if there's a chance that we can like help him out, even at, you know, the some sort of like very substantial risk, like let's go for it. And like obviously, like the moment you suggest that to Marcus, he's gonna be like, yeah, because
Yeah.
Marcus is the most desperate guy like ever,
Well, but
right?
also,
So I don't
even
know.
if it's like relatable and like what you would do, that doesn't make it necessarily good on a character level and a story level.
Well, I think from a character level, it was Archer deciding these powers are really scary sometimes and they shouldn't be messed with, so I shouldn't use it for something like making my restaurant successful. But then he sees Marcus and he sees a matter of life and death. He sees someone's family. And also at this point, he feels like he honestly believes himself that he understands how to control Azelf. He thinks, oh, just beat them in a battle, they'll come back. And so he has this smart plan of, oh, I'll just stand by the entrance, I'll beat up Marcus when he turns, and everything will be okay. But obviously, it doesn't go according to plan because I guess he underestimates Azelf and it goes a bit more haywire. But I can definitely see why Archer would believe it would be a worthwhile cause and why he thinks there would be little risk involved, even after going through Celebi.
Yeah, I agree with Tom in terms of like the moments it's a life and death situation. my yeah, I learned my lesson, but like desperation is a hell of a drug sometimes. So
Yep.
those things kind of go out the window, and I don't know. I think I don't know. I am not super upset at that decision that Archer made, and I don't think it. I wouldn't say it fits his character, but I don't think it doesn't fit his character.
I think
No,
him
no, it
learning his
also
own
felt in
lesson.
general, since like the story had already felt like it ended once. At that point, it started to feel like it dragged for me, and then he made that decision. It kind of all compounded onto each other and made me feel like I felt like the story could have just ended, maybe like a little bit, like how I like restructured the Marcus stuff to end kind of simultaneously with Mike.
Yeah, I do kind of
And-
agree with that. I feel like the moment you're done with Mike, it's like, wait, this guy's just done. Like, we're done with him. Like, that's it. And it's like,
Yeah.
like, yeah. And so it feels like, okay, we've wrapped this up, but we're only on what, day 9? Like, there's still, like, we still need to wrap up these storylines, even though it feels like we have like at least for us, like for Archer as a character, he's achieved like kind of like inner peace, because he's like the whole Mike situation's out now. Obviously the entire Silver Spring situation isn't great, but like for him and himself, it's like good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And really, like, because of that, I think this is a story like, yeah, about personal growth, but it's also like the lesson that you've learned is more important than the growth itself, because the game does end on you helping others.
I think in the end, Archer's lesson, at least with Mike, was much more about his own pride and his own ambition than it was about helping other people.
Yeah. And I think that's what sets the part with Victini apart, is because, like Victini said, true victory often belongs to those who seek peace, not dominion. And I think that's what turns it into a different lesson.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful game. Like,
It is. Oh, it's such a good game. Yeah.
and it
I don't know, I
covers
wouldn't-
so many different topics. Just yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking for that quote for the past 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I
because
mean,
I'm like, there was that, and a cautious heart unwilling to wield power for its own sake. That was the first part of that, and I'm like, I want to throw this in somewhere because it's good and it's relevant.
It's such a
and
good quote. It's such a good quote.
Such a good quote.
Like I always like when stories have like one quote that like sometimes summarizes like when it is how a character feels, like a viewpoint. Like in Abstract, I mean, a line that everyone seemed to really like was like, who cares, what was the specific, was that something along the lines of like, who cares, let's be the bad guys. It was not that phrasing, because that's bad phrasing, but like, you guys know what line I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think roughly.
Vaguely. And then for Berserk, I remember the one that I was really proud of, that really also like put kind of Professor Pine's mindset in, was what was it? Oh yeah, you have to build bridges to build new ones. You have to burn bridges to build new ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was not shoehorning that in to talk about Berserk and Abstract.
Wow, classic Berserk mention from Andy.
Damn.
Another episode
Classic
without a
I'm
Berserk
so-
Abstract
mention.
insert.
No, I mean, I was just that. No.
We're joking, Andy. It's okay.
Kind
You kind of dug yourself a
Yeah.
hole right there, and there's no getting out of it.
Nope.
I know.
Yeah, there's like so much like, I don't know, there's just so much to talk about, I feel like, in terms of like this game, that like
Yeah.
we talked a lot of like generally. I think like if you guys have not watched the previous episode, go back and watch that, because like Andy and Kenny, by like nature of Andy, just how he like, you know, plays games and gives feedback, and Kenny being the developer is a lot more like on a micro scale. Like there are a lot of like nitpicks that Andy went through that I think are like I like when I give feedback for a game, I would never bring up, like, because I like to think a lot more generally. But I think both discussions and aspects of the game are important, right? Like, for example, I'll just bring this up here as a micro thing. The patch that I finished the game on, Madison, in the final encounter with Brett and Madison, the overworld doesn't exist. And it definitely removed a little bit of, like, immersion for me, right? And there were and I think overall the final patch that I played on was like way too easy, personally. That was the 1.0.2. I know in 1.0.1 it was a lot more difficult. I think I would have preferred that, but again, small nitpicks.
I played it on 1.0.0 and I was struggling. But also, apparently that was too easy for people, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, different.
I had
different difficulty levels.
1.1.0?
But I mean,
1.1. 1.1 doesn't exist.
Oh.
Were you on
I don't remember which
1.0.1?
version. I think that's the one I was on.
I think that's the difficult one.
Hold on, I haven't deleted my...
But like, also, when I'm critical of fan games, I don't think there's a single fan game that I cannot critique.
Yeah, no, nothing's perfect.
Or wouldn't
and I
critique.
think that's like an important thing, like, to be able to critique and give positive and negative feedback towards everything. I think that's like a really important thing to be able to do.
Oh, so I need to work on that second part. The positive feedback I am not as good with.
Okay, yeah, it was 1.0.1.
Yeah, that was the difficult one
Not
from
bad.
my understanding. One thing that I completely forgot about, and like I kind of touched on it when I touched on the music of this game, but I think like the atmosphere of this game is like, I don't know, so good. I think part of it, and it might be like a very personal opinion, I think whatever game can bring that endless like smooth camera plugin to their game, like, do it. Like, that feels so, like, it feels so much better to just run around using that camera, in my opinion.
So, is that gonna be your overworld shadows, Cade?
No, because I don't actually know what time and resources and how difficult it is to get into a game.
I mean,
So
from my understanding, you just put it in the game.
Oh. I mean, I don't think it's a widely enough used thing to probably, like, care about yet.
Well, exactly. That's why you gotta care
really
about it
like...
more, to really get that momentum started.
I think it's something that adds to a game. Its absence doesn't take away from a game.
Yeah.
Sure. That's only what anti say, Tom.
Just like what you can say about Overworld Shadows. It's
That's
good,
just what
but
anti
it
say,
doesn't
Tom.
take away from a Gen 3 game.
Whenever you say
Anyways,
anti-Overworld
I wasn't done with my point. I think like the smooth camera, the atmosphere as a whole was really good, and something that I don't remember if was talked about last episode, but the fogs in a lot of the maps were like really helped. I think like y'all need to use fogs more. Maybe that'll become my thing.
Yeah.
Even though I suck at using fogs in my own game, so I feel like a hypocrite.
Are harder, though.
I feel like yeah. So like I think that like really sets like a very good atmosphere, like the music, the way the map looks, I guess, from like I don't know, like the fogs are nice. I will say like something, this is a lot more like nitpicky, but like, and I know you guys talked about it last time, but like the absence of flavor text is like kind of disappointing from like a dev who I know can write flavor text, but also I completely understand the fact that flavor text is literally the most annoying thing to ever write. So
I don't know, sometimes you can have some fun with it.
yeah, I mean, like, you can have fun with it. You can also like make it the most boring and dull thing ever. And and I feel
Look
like
at
a lot
this
of games.
plant. It's a happy plant.
Look at this tree. You can tell it's a tree by the way it is. Shout out Atomic Reactor.
Wait, that's an actual quote?
Have you not seen the video?
No?
He was in the video.
Oh my god.
No. No, but
That's
like
something
the
Atomic
original
Reactor said in our
video.
episode.
No,
I
Atomic
love him so
Reactor
much.
said it in our episode, but have you seen like the original meme?
No?
Oh, you're missing out. What's it
Look at
called? I forget what the video's called, but it's so funny.
This is a tree, you can tell by the way it is. I love how this podcast has devolved into us like teaching each other about memes. There was the yo boy who got you smiling like that.
Okay, also like
Atomic Reactor
was that
talked about it when
was
talking
that
about
last
Olivia
was that
dialogue.
last week? I was so shocked that nobody else had heard of that except Andy.
I
was like,
know!
I feel like I thought that was a well-known meme.
Same here.
Back in my
The-
day, we laughed
the
at
way-
Daniel in his shoes.
And then
Like
I
the
just
way
had to
the way
sit
you
here,
explained it wasn't
awkwardly
great
explain it.
because because it's the like tone and like cadence of like how it's said is like very particular, and I feel like if you like listen to it in that tone and cadence you might find it familiar, but I don't know. I think like it's whatever. We probably need to wrap up, don't we?
Yeah, I got changed on camera, so if you've been watching
Oh.
my cam, you can get some source
Ooh.
reviews.
What?
Don't say that to a 17-year-old.
Nothing was shown.
Hey,
I could
yo!
just put on a loincloth and stand up, but yeah.
Anyways, that's a good weird point to end this off on.
What would you rate my striptease out of 10? Please leave a comment.
I guess that's our question for the week. We'll see y'all next week with Covenant. I may or may not finish it, I'm gonna be honest. I'm too busy, so I
Covenant's
may
a
just
good
let
game.
these three talk
Covenant's a
about
really
it.
good game.
You better finish your game, scoundrel.
Exactly.
What?
The warden.
That's
Yeah,
just the
something-
voice I used for one of the Indeedies.
Oh yeah, it's indeed.
Also ruined my throat. Ruined my
I was gonna
throat.
say,
but
that
it was
sounds-
so worth it.
And if you don't end this in 1 minute, you're not getting this audio before tomorrow.
Alright, see y'all later. Bye.
Goodbye, scoundrels.